Hey everybody, clap, 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 clap. Guess what? Today, a special guest, a guy that came out of Brazil, came to Canada, immigrated here. Tell us, how long you been in Canada?
I came here in August 2004.
August 2004, wow. And why?
So basically, I've been doing jiu-jitsu since 1994. So we have a few tournaments, world tournaments. Fought first time in 2000 in England, and then 2002 in South Africa, and then 2004 was in Brazil. And
Okay, let's hold on. Well, I'm going to introduce you. This is Cesar Narita. So, did I say that right?
Yeah, Cesar Narita.
Cesar Narita. Sensei. Fourth Dan black belt or third Dan black belt?
Third Dan.
Third Dan black belt in Moronganti Jiu-Jitsu. He has an academy here in Burnaby. He teaches kids, well, his background is Jiu-Jitsu, which is ground fighting. How's it compared to, everybody knows those guys, what are the Gracies?
Yeah, the Gracies. So we are like a different organization. Like my master, Ricardo Morganti, he started this. So he taught about not only ground fighting, but we also do striking. So similar to MMA. So it's close to MMA without being MMA. So we fight striking, we fight throws, and then ground fighting, right? So it's a complete style.
So, but you've actually had some MMA fights.
I did. So anyway, in 2004 I competed in Brazil, and I actually finished my degree.
Right.
And then, so I wanted to get some life experience, and my idea was just spend 6 months abroad, right? I was going to open a gym in Brazil. So I came to Canada with $500 in my pocket at the time, stay in a friend's house for a little while. Then, decide to start the life here, start Morgan Jiu-Jitsu in Canada. So I started gym, started teaching a class in a capoeira school. So after I immigrated, and then I started fighting MMA here as well. So I did, I think, 12 fights. At the time was hard to get. For me, it was very interesting because we always had to pay in order to fight, and then they offered me money to fight, right? Even it wasn't a lot. So for me, sure, let's do it.
I saw one fight, you go to Google it, Cesar Narita versus Sean Bueller?
I'm not
I don't know. It was a really cool, sponsored, it was done at the Agrodome. Bodog put it in, and it lasted about a minute and a half. Cesar got him down and took him out with a, armbar.
Yeah.
So Cesar came here to Canada. He trained with his brother.
Yeah. So anyway, my brother was younger than me, and then he came. He spent 9 months with me. He was going to spend 12 months, but then we had a trip. He didn't get his visa renewed. Then he helped me, and then we start fighting. We start competing here. So I competed in MMA here, in the beginning of the times here. So it was very interesting at the time because we would fight in the Indian reservations. There's not fully sanctioned, So
it's downright bare knuckle.
Not bare knuckle, we still.
Well, you had the pads,
so, yeah. So, but I didn't even have corners and stuff, right? So my corners were my students that they look good, they look big.
Yeah.
So I really didn't have much help, just by myself. One of the fights, one before that one, it was in Vancouver in a theater. It was a nice venue. So I won by triangle choke, but I knocked the guy down with a punch. And my hand was swollen the next day because I didn't even take my hands. I didn't have anybody to take my hands, right? So it was just guts and glory, basically, right?
Then you were about to do a fight here in Vancouver. That's the one that you won. It was one at the Agrodome done by Bodog. And they told you not to fight that night. And you didn't. And then what would happen there?
Yeah, so at that time, anyways, my brother came in 2004. My brother came here in 2005. So he helped me to get established, teaching the classes and all this kind of stuff. And then because he had to go back, so in 2005, he was going to stay for a year. So the 9 months, we went to Disneyland, me, him, and my older brother. Because at that time we said, that's the time that we're single, and that's the only time that can be the three of us. So let's do it, right? The issue was we didn't have the visa for him to come back to Canada, right?
Right.
But then he actually got it, but then he went back to Brazil anyways, right? So we got it, so we had to do that trip, right? And then after he went back, that was about the end of 2005, about I think November, December. And then in August 5th, 2006, he saved my mom in front of her house. My mom was coming back from a business trip. He was leaving the house with his girlfriend to pick up my dad at the family restaurant at the time. So a guy was robbing my mom. So obviously he stopped to help her. And unfortunately, like fighting the guy who ended up getting shot, and he passed away that time, right? So it was August, and then in September, I think September 29, so September 28 will be his birthday. And then September 29 was a fight that I had here. So I went back to Brazil.
Buried your brother.
Yes, and then I had to come back, so like really emotional, really hard. And so I had that fight lined up for me, right? I think I was even going to fight for a title at the time, but then they changed the guy because they're like, you shouldn't fight and stuff. But anyways, I say I have to fight for the memory of my brother, right? So that was the most important fight of my life, right? So at that time, that was a matter, so I tried to do, and fortunately I was able to win the fight.
So do you want to check that fight out on YouTube? Cesar Narita against Sean Bueller, I think it was.
Cesar
Yeah.
Narita, MMA, and you can find it.
So then Caesar's, very tragic. Can you imagine? He didn't. They told him not to fight. They begged him not to do it, and he came out victorious. And I'm telling you, you watch Joe Rogan and all that shit. The guy's got an unbelievable kick, and the instruments about MMA fighting. When I was younger, I used to watch. I think a bunch of barbarians go up there and they kick the shit out of each other, and I thought, what the fuck? But then I went through a really kind of a nasty divorce. I ended up starting to go to his gym. And I was training almost 5-6 days a week. And I tell you what, it changed my life. It changed my life so much. And I thought to myself, I was very intimidated walking in there first because I still don't know anything, but I knew nothing then. But everybody in his class was very supportive. And I realized, holy shit, this is like a family. Like this is like not just a martial arts family. Everybody wants you to do better, right? Everybody was encouraging you. Didn't matter how heavy you were, how skinny you were. But it was like down to earth shit where it's just, I remember first class I think I went to, and they were doing this somersault thing, and I can't do a somersault at all. And I was like, we're running in circles, everybody's flipping. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I sort of rolled, and I thought everybody was going to laugh at me. They didn't. Actually, they kind of laughed. And it's a very addictive sport. I tell you, it's more so. It was. I suppose there's gyms out there where guys go out and they kick the shit out of each other. But if you watch, I'm not a particular fan of Conor McGregor. Mm-hmm. I think Conor McGregor's a big mouth, and I think when Conor McGregor lost a number of his fights, he deserved it. However, one thing you can't discredit from Conor McGregor, as much as he's an asshole who walks around like this, he brought so much notoriety to the sport that you actually like to hate him.
Yeah.
I did a TV show. People like to hate me.
Of course.
Right? What is Conor McGregor like in real life? I don't know. The more money you make and when you become powerful, you kind of lose your shit. You look at Tate, he's, I don't know how that guy got his money. But, on the end of the day, men, and then this is what you told me once, we have been fighting ever since the beginning of time. Now, unfortunately, we're sort of tamed it down, but it's still our killer instinct as men to survive. So, when you go to his class, which is where's your gym?
In Burnaby, Canada Way in Edmonds, so 7738 Edmonds Street. Okay, Power 3 Academy, power3academy.com.
Caesar's not a salesman, meaning like me, where I'm out selling, but he generally cares about his students. He takes his sensei role. Can I refer to it as a teacher?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
He's a teacher. Smiling, you joke around. And then you watch him fight, he's down, he doesn't wear his gi and he's up there, and it's like, holy shit, I see this intimidating look, it's pretty, but after the fight, you shake hands, and, it's a one-on-one sport. It's like, almost like, I don't want to say like golf, because I think golf, not tennis, but you're actually one-on-one with a guy, and the sportsmanship after the fight, no one's really out there to hurt themselves. I'm sure there's a couple, but for the most part, everybody that I met at Cesar's gym, from 2 years old, 4 years old, right up to, 50, everybody encouraged, and I'm telling you, you want a life changer. You join jiu-jitsu. Not just jiu-jitsu, they do striking, they do some Muay Thai. He actually had a famous guy, which we've worked for him for a number of guys, that guy by the name of Jason Fenton. Jason Fenton, as we know, was a world champion Muay Thai guy that's gained a few pounds, but still got one of the toughest kicks I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure.
The interesting thing about Muay Thai, and again, you could tell me more because, everybody watches television, watch a guy kick the shit out of 7 guys. The older you get, the harder it becomes to warm up. You think that you're going to be able to do a double roundhouse and all that stuff. The thing about jiu-jitsu is, and if you watch the Gracies fight, I know you're not a big fan of the Gracies, but at the same time, when you watch these Gracies, fighting guys who have got stand-up, once these guys get a hold of you, it's crazy. Here's a weird story. Last night, I'm watching a bodybuilder fight a challenge to a guy that was about half his size. This huge guy came in, and the big guy, the jiu-jitsu guy, kept getting him some leg shots. Finally, he threw to the ground, and for a while there, it didn't look bad. But the thing is, he did. He got him. He took him out. The guy tapped out, and it was like incredible. Like you could be a short person, and it's all and it's whoa, like it's incredible.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think what drives me and is the love for not the sport. I see like it's a martial arts, like a life, right? So what I tell my students is like the belts that you earn in a martial arts, something that nobody gonna take away from you because it's like earning. And I say like it's related to life, So
this is very important.
A person who gets old, I think they deserve respect, right? Because you don't know tomorrow. Like I take an example of my brother, right? Healthy, good-looking guy, super good. I say he was a better version than me, an updated version than me, right? He was like smart. He was we started together. I was bigger than him, so I used to beat him up, and then he was beating me up after, right?
So you were the run to the other then.
Well, I'm the middle child, right? Okay. So my older brother, he's a smart one, So
okay. So he's a smart one, and the other two, sure, the other two got into martial arts.
Exactly. So, anyways, but like the connection that I had with my brother because of that, I say we cry together, sweat together, we bleed together, right? And martial arts is it's like a video game, You die because like when you get tapped out, you get knocked down or whatever. You still can live again to try and fix the mistake, right? Such as life, right? And I call like that we see the real definition of tough love. It's tough, but there's love. You get beat up. I say you get a little hurt, so you don't get big hurt. So the hurt that you have there is like a situation where it's gonna help you move and be better, improve. Get rid of your stress, like when you're fighting people, that's the best thing, it's in us and stuff.
It is, especially when someone's better than you. But one of the things that you taught us when I was in class, and this is a very important thing, and you just remembered it, and you said it, it's part of life. What's life? The first thing in life is survival. Just surviving. And when you're in jiu-jitsu, you get yourself in an uncompromised position, or you're on somewhere, the first thing is somebody grabs you, if you panic and freak, it's not going to help.
No, because like for instance, if somebody's attacking your neck, what you want to do? You want to punch them in the face, right? But great, if you knock them out, cool. But if you pass out, which is like likely, you're going to be done, right? So your priority should be what? Take care of that problem first, Same thing as life, like kids, or everybody, not just kids, you want to have a really nice car, First get your license, learn how to drive, right? Make sure that you have food on your table, right? Make sure that you have a place to stay.
Which is survival.
Survival, exactly.
Number one.
Survival. Survive is cheap, right?
Survival
is cheap.
And
right?
then what? What's next?
Eating is cheap, but you wanna eat in a restaurant every day, that's expensive, right? Driving is not expensive, right? But if you wanna drive a really nice car, that's expensive.
Okay, so you're in a chokehold. The first thing is survival.
Survive. Defend,
then what's the next thing?
Defend first. Then you put yourself in a better position,
right.
So they cannot be attacked again. So that be like in life. Get a job, get a income or something, right? Then you can go after and then enjoy, right? But people wanna skip steps, right? Just go like to the top right away. And as a matter of fact, like training you one time, I remember saying people think like money brings happiness, and I remember your reaction was like, huh, right? And that was interesting because look at you're like a guy who's like a big heart, like people who don't know you. As a matter of fact, like he did something that we didn't tell anybody for about like a year or so, even more. There was a kid that we thought that he would be good, and he was actually sponsoring him. He was paying for his membership, for the kid's membership, because the father could not afford, right? So that was really nice of him, right? Like that was offered. I talked about the kid. There was like, okay, I hope he's doing well and stuff. We have a new kid now. Like this kid is seems to be good. I have a girl. Like we have a really good group right now, right? Of kids that I believe they can go all the way. And I tell them, just like being professional fighters, make money while you're doing it. That's great.
So you're going on a tournament, is that right?
We are going on a tournament, right? So it's a little bit rushed, We've been talking about a long time. We say like it was in October. We've been talking about October, but it's like a month away now, So since the beginning of the year, and then like, we have time and stuff. It's not fully ideal, but I believe we can do and can get some good results. I got a group of teenagers that will go right now. And
so you have some kids that are talented.
Yes.
You're going to Brazil.
Yes.
You're going to compete.
I will compete as well.
You're going to compete. So you got some kids, and how old are they?
So I have the oldest kid is 17, and then you have like about 13 years old, something like that. So yeah.
And this trip's going to cost you money.
It's gonna cost a little bit, yes. And the thing about like Canada, I have a politician that trains me. Her name is Katrina Chan, right? So I mentioned to her, and she actually like help us. She's gonna donate a little bit of money, and then she got another politician. His name is Raj Chauhan or something within the area. Another person's gonna help.
What NDP, Liberal?
MLAs, whatever they are, but I'm not sure.
You're back.
Anyway,
never get into politics, but at the same time.
But the politics, I also believe, like, I think they're good and bad and everything, right? As a person, though, I know her, and she told me, like, I was saying, like, because I'm from Brazil, and we usually, like, politicians are crooked, right? And she always say, no, like, we're servers of the people. That stuck to me, right? And she was like, she's really nice, and she actually, like, went out of her way and got us like a free sponsorship, even from like a real estate agent, right? A guy who like just believe in us. And I think like more than the money, is just like somebody believing. It's like kind of nice, right?
So this brings me to a podcast that we had about a week ago. A guy by the name of Brett Tippy grew up in Kamloops. His dad was a teacher. He is now he's 55 years old. He's one of the top mountain bikers to this day in the world, like for stunts. And I said to him, could you imagine if like the Americans, the Germans, and all the money that they put behind their athletes, but we don't. And this guy, he made his own, like literally carved his own snowboard because he didn't have the money. And he's to this day one of the he is like a top rider. Like they do movies with this guy jumping off cliffs. Never all new teeth, right? And actually, dentist gave him a whole set of teeth, helped him out.
Yes.
So it's quite amazing. And here we are in Canada, and here's a guy that actually is doing this. And notice how he didn't say it was NDP, Liberal, or any whatever. And he said it's all about the person. Who cares what party they're with? But really, it's amazing that this is how we sort of get together. This is how we help, and to make a difference in a kid's life, not just one life. This guy's transformed many people. One thing about Cesar and his classes, it's of course self-defense. It's of course also a training, getting in shape. It's also the art of the sport. And he's in it really for, I think, the art of the sport, but you don't know how many people that you've actually impacted now. And I think that's incredible.
Yeah, that's important for sure. And I think people want the glory and stuff, but they don't think about like ahead. Life is not like a movie. It is in some senses, because what I mean is you reach a point, you are successful, and then what?
Yeah.
Right? After the curtains close, like the life still go on. You still have 24 hours a day.
Like I said, money doesn't buy happiness.
Doesn't buy happiness, no. And then, another thing I heard from another person in my life, when I was struggling and fighting and stuff, right? People say, how do you do it? I look and say, like, being an immigrant is not that easy, right? But I didn't think about it, that's all. First year that I spent here,
that's right.
I end up like with, I think, $200 in my bank, right? And then the next year was like $400. It didn't make sense to stay here. My mom came here and like say, why are you doing this, right? You have a comfortable life. I say, well, because I want you, right? I say, I was playing poor, like what if I didn't have my parents? What if I didn't have anybody to support me, to prove that it could happen? So I miss a lot of birthdays and, all this stuff. But it was worth it because it made me stronger in a sense that it's possible, right? You can do it. We have an advantage, like having the life experience that we have. People are so afraid of losing stuff. And I say, if you lose something right now, as long as you get motivated, you can definitely get back on track in less time, right?
Are we listening to this, guys? Agree.
Yeah. So
and that's how he practices his martial arts.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing. So there's this. Never mind this Bruce Lee bullshit what you see and all that stuff. That's Hollywood. But this is inner life. Why did I bring Cesar here today? Why? Because you know what? Sharing the story, taking the martial arts. It could be. You don't have to be in jiu-jitsu or judo or whatever karate. You could be in any sport. Or not just sport, just in life.
Anything that you do in life, try to excel, just be better, best at it, right? Like I like it to everybody, like people say, oh, you're not good. If you're not in the UFC, you're not good. Well, I'm 42 years old now, right? I'm turning 43. Like my time was just based on like helping my family within like the Morgan Jiu-Jitsu. It's like a new federation. I understand there's a lot of flaws, and martial arts, the interesting thing on martial arts too, and then getting older, I start to understand it more. It's like when you see somebody, you see another fighter, you start like measuring him up, say, can I beat him up? Like, I'm gonna beat him up. It's all about that, but you know what? Thing is, we need each other. If there's no other fighters, no other styles, right. And then people don't care, And it's like a tournament. It's like a movie, When you watch the sports movies, like Rudy, like the underdog and people cheering him on, right? And then people like, that's awesome, That's the thing that money doesn't buy. I heard a person say, I made millions of dollars, but there's nobody cheering me up. Like, they never felt that.
There's probably 1,000, if not 10,000 professional, well, I call them quasi-professional, martial arts instructors, and probably more in Canada. Not just, probably hundreds of them in Vancouver. That, like anything in life, if you're an artist, you could have the best drawing, the best artwork, you just didn't get that right opportunity to get into it. Just because you're not in UFC. A lot of these guys, some of these guys are obviously very talented to get that far, but there's a lot of talented actors. Only 15% of Hollywood makes money. Just like yourself, just because you didn't go into UFC, but at that time, that's another dedication. But really, is that the ultimate goal of look at all these junior hockey players. I mean, hockey is our sport here, soccer is your sport, and jiu-jitsu. But it is what it is, right?
But it's just the thing is, like, for me personally, like growing a smaller federation organization, we're still trying to find our identity. So people saying you're not good, And I can relate that. So kids who grow up with parents or somebody telling them they're not good, right? You end up believing it. That becomes part of you, So you have two choices: either like accept and just fold and just say life is unfair because of it, or try to prove everybody wrong, right? Prove yourself right.
Exactly.
And that's basically what.
And don't blame everybody. Don't blame anybody for your miseries.
Yes, of course.
You have to take accountability for your actions.
Do blame them for like a second.
Maybe.
And then look at it, because what can you do? You cannot control that, right?
Do you know what? It's funny off topic. Someone said to me, they said, "You're lucky," and I went, "What do you mean I'm lucky? You know what? I gotta go through 7 days a week, 12 hours or 16 hours a day." Maybe the odd time you get lucky, you meet somebody, and but for the most part, luck is only created by yourself, right? If you don't put yourself out there, and if you don't ask, you're not going to get. Worst case scenario, but if you sit at home and watch TV and watch video games, you're not going to get lucky. I mean, you might be able to walk to the store and buy a lottery ticket, but it's 1 in 100 million.
Exactly. The odds are not great, right?
But really, that's what So what are we doing here? We're looking after one kid, or we're looking after the team, or what's the ultimate goal?
Is the team, right? Actually, like one of the kids that we are like really looking into, this kid is his name is Elias. He came from Afghanistan, like about a year and a half ago or something. Mm-hmm. So like he's speaking English, right? Like he's studying. He has like we always joke. He came this chubby little kid with like this $1 million smile, right? And now he's like getting back in good shape. He comes and trains like 3 hours a day, every day.
How old is he?
13. He's just turned 13. Like this kid is going places. Right?
You know what he needs? He needs He needs a conversation with me just to keep his head in the game, just so to see.
No,
I'd love to chat.
The thing is, he doesn't. Like he's there. Like he helps me clean the gym every day.
Really?
Every night. Yeah. We have like Tora, the kid. He's been training for him for years. And very good kid too. Like and Georgie. They're one of the first students that we had. The kid's from Russia, right? But he's more Canadian now because he spent most of his life here. Super tough kid. Like hard, and then Kurt, Kurt is like 17 years old. He's like skinny little kid, and when his mom came to watch him competing, she was like, wow, that's what he does, So, and that for Kurt, for instance, is like his last time that he can compete as a junior, right? Because next year he's gonna be an adult, right? So that's important for him to go. Elias, he deserves to go, right? Like he's.
So you're looking for sponsorship for him, the team, or just the league?
Just for the team or whatever, Like I think the cost per person would be like about $3,000. I mean, I didn't even look for sponsors for me. Like we say, we're gonna pay. Like the gym's gonna help in some things. But like when Katrina and got like I think Tony Lin is the guy, the real estate agent. I say it's super nice, Like it means a lot. Just like look at this guy believing in us, right?
Yes.
Katrina actually didn't ask for much, right? Just say like just do a video or whatever. So we're gonna try maybe to put some names on the uniforms, right?
Okay, so we're willing to help you guys out. We'll help you.
Yeah.
We're doing it mainly because this guy changed my life in a lot of ways. Now you're gonna have to cut it over.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man.
But I went through some shit, let me tell you, and I wish that I could get my ass back into that gym, but he doesn't know it, but he did. All right.
So anyways, I always tell this guy, like he has something, right? And then that's when I say like, people always want what they don't have, just be content with what you have. Like he's an amazing guy, business-wise. I say like you figure out like, I saw him doing stuff like it's unbelievable, right? Like he's good at this stuff, but that's not the only thing. Like I say, you can make as much money as you can, but we still people.
You see this emotion?
Yeah.
It's pure emotion, and what I went through with my divorce. Look at this, I'm fucking crying. Anyway, I still to this day can't believe 3 years have gone since I've been in the gym. So what you need? So you need some money for this thing, and I'm doing this because of. No matter what, I have a heart for this guy, and I respect what he does. If there was many more people out there doing what he did, I'm telling you, the world would be a better place. I swear to God.
I appreciate it.
So, I don't know. You didn't ever really actually said how much you needed.
Well, any support, anything actually, but one of the other reasons that
$2,000 good.
Other reasons, sure, that would be great. But the other reason that we're doing this is like because my master, he died out of COVID, right? And that's I think the first big tournament they're doing there too. So they need support. The other person who's there, like Shihan Alberto, in Recife, that's where we're going, right? I love that guy. I mean, we butt heads so many times because we love this so much, right? But like now we grow up and then we look at each other and say, hey. We're the same, right? So basically, interesting enough, like we're from São Paulo. In 2004, that's when he went to Recife, and that's when I came to Canada, right? So we left our home base and then start like he did an amazing job, right? Like I don't know if more than 10 gyms or something, right? Like thousands of students there, right? But and then like I took care of my personal life and stuff. Like I'm okay. I mean, you don't really. That's the thing about Canada, and it's so surprising to see that we can do. And I just spoke to him earlier. We keep like we have that chip on our shoulders. People don't support sports. People don't like it and stuff like. But what do you want? People just hand on stuff for you, right? We don't go after it, right? And we are like black belts in fighting, We're good at fighting. I fight anybody. I'm not saying that I can beat anybody. I don't back down, right? I will be there to fight. That I can guarantee. And I think everybody can put up a fight, right? But and then the thing is like, once you're good at business, people expect you to be good at everything else. It's not true. We're good at fighting. Like you're black belt at fighting. You're a white belt in business, right? And that takes time to learn.
Well, the problem is that the bigger you get, the more people want to take a piece of you.
100%.
Right?
100%.
So if everybody, doesn't matter if you're good, and you know what? A white belt could take a black belt. It just is a matter of, it doesn't happen, but I can't say I haven't been taking.
No, it's unlikely. It's like
unlikely.
It's like winning the lottery, right?
Yeah.
I say like, oh, but so it doesn't make sense to fight. Nothing's 100%. What I'm saying, if somebody attacks me on the street, that they're gonna win. If they catch me by surprise,
Yeah.
yes. But like more time goes by,
Yes.
more I will take over, 100%. You
Yes.
know. So same thing with business. We can go get a deal, and I can get the deal. That one deal and then you don't, but that doesn't mean I beat you every time,
No.
right?
No. The
like
point
a
is,
thousand, one time out of 1,000, sure, but that's like those are.
shit
things.
happens, man.
Yeah,
It happens all
and
the
the thing
time.
about being famous, sure, is like, imagine your insecurities, imagine like all the problems that you have and stuff, and then you think, look, you just think about the glory, but what about the later on? It's like having a puppy, you know, people want it, but then when you have to clean the shit, they take it for walks and all this stuff, like, and you're tired.
Well, you know
don't
what?
want it.
The thing is, when you are famous, it's the mosquito bites that don't kill you that hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, there is ones that can, but on the end of the day, you can do 100 things and help 100 people.
Yeah.
It's the ones that bite you a little bit at a time, and they take the most energy. And sometimes it's hard not to let it get to you.
We're all humans, you know. Like
Of
I
course.
say, and I tell the kids the difference between kids and adults. Adults just pretend better. That's it.
That's
you
right.
know, you know how to hide a little bit, but we feel the pain. Like how a kid cries and stuff. We're all doing that on the inside when things don't go our way.
Yeah.
You know, and then if you don't understand that, that's gonna eat you up inside. You know, and then like if you're famous and there's more things, and then there's more.
Yeah, when something, and in business, sometimes when shit hits the fan, you got to take a deep breath. So there's your corner. Right after 3 minutes,
For sure.
You have to think about it, right? And you have to just sort of settle down. It's not easy, but anyway, on the end of the day, it's a very, very good thing, and we don't mind.
But so just to finish this, like anyways,
Show me.
for Team Canada, right? Like we designed these uniforms right here. Okay, so we just need to get them done and then put some sponsorships. Probably like put some direct liquidation here would be nice, right? And we do anything that we can, because the way I see it is like I'm always grateful for things that people do, not just the money. Money is like any idiot can have money, right? And then hand it out and just like tell the friends and stuff. But even if it's that and for a good reason, great, you know? I mean, we're not begging, we're not like, fortunately I am in a good position that we can afford it, but if there's somebody that helps, say, hey, go there, like here, that means a lot, right? And right now I am fighting for Team Canada. I'm Brazilian, like the one reason that I became Canadian is I could keep my Brazilian citizenship, right? I love my country, but my country doesn't love me back, you know? I love Canada too. No, Canada loves back too and stuff, and I mean, I'm still Brazilian and Canadian, right? Like, so I'm fighting for Team Canada and taking Team Canada, and I said, even if you don't have, even if you lose, you know? I remember in the Olympics, there was this time the guy swam, he couldn't swim, right? But he was there representing and stuff. But anybody to represent at least will have a little bit of chance, you know?
Yeah.
With these kids, is it ideal? Never is ideal, okay? But I have faith in these kids, right? That I think we can get some good results, right? I'm trying to set up a team event as well. So a few options to get medals. So hopefully they come with like 3 or 4 medals or something. Right? Yeah, but about 3 medals they can get, right? I get myself like what they call super fight, at least, and maybe fight in the team as well. So, I mean, I'm willing to go there and fight as well, right? Like, it's been a long time, but just try and do our best, you know? At least we have somebody representing, that's it, you know? When I line up, I think this event is not, because it's in Recife, I asked, like, last time they had only, like, 700 kids in São Paulo, right? Just kids, right? So about, like, maybe 1,000 participants or something. But I think this time it'll be about 250, which is still like a good number.
That's good.
Right? It will be beautiful. I tell people it's just like the Olympics. It's just like anything, you know? Like you representing your country. Canada needs to be represented, right?
Totally.
We're gonna look good, and I tell the kids, oh, but what if I lose? Well, if you don't go, you're already lost.
That's right.
Right? And if you fight hard, I prefer to fight hard and lose than just beat up somebody that's easy, you know.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, you know. And at the end of the day, like if you lose, and the other thing I want to take, I want to take these kids to some projects they have there. Like they teach their like poor kids, and because it's good both ways, you know. For our kids to see how privileged we are to be in Canada, And for the kids there to see like, wait,
That's the biggest problem here, man. I'm telling you, people don't know what it's like in any other countries, and they don't know the struggle to come to this country and why they struggle. As much as all the shit you watch, vaccinated, not vaccinated, we fight and argue over the stupidest things. But really, I've never been to Brazil, but I do know it's got one of the highest crime rates in all the world. I genuinely think there's some really good people there, but at the same time, at least Canada it's a land of opportunity.
For sure.
And if the harder you work, the better opportunities you can make.
Definitely.
You go to Europe, it's very difficult. Anywhere, people come from the Philippines. I've been to Manila. I went outside to Manila, a town called Taguig, man. There's 7 people living in a room this size, man. And you come to Canada, you got a room this size, you're by yourself. It's a bonus. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it bad, but this is why. It's all the flaws that we have, and that's why I say money doesn't buy happiness. You can be living in the Manila in a very small place, but you're happy. You come here, you got to kind of let the distractions away.
I think happiness is key of life. I love watching movies and stuff because how they move us and stuff. But like living martial arts life and with this and like with the kids, and I say it's a phenomenon that happens in the gym. You have all of a sudden like this multi-millionaire talking to this roofer guy like as equals, and you have the kids talking to adults like equals, with friends. That gives confidence. We're all humans.
Well, this is sometimes a problem here. People want to show off something, and we become a very materialistic society. But that's a whole other topic. Really, at the end of the day, you could go to this guy who built his own snowboard, but before snowboard, he was sitting here. Before snowboard became, and here he is up there with tie-down boots, doing something he loved to do. It wasn't hurting anybody, but really, it's an important part. So listen, when is this tournament?
October 14 and 15. That's when we have to be there. So we're planning maybe to leave around before Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving. And then coming back the next week, so spend some time there. So after the tournament, I still need to see my family. So my parents actually were coming with us, I say this is kind of like a business trip, and the rest of my family I'm not sure if we have time to see. I need to see my grandma. She's 94, I think. Wow. Right. So just like I make time to see her.
You're not going to introduce her or anything like that.
She'll beat me.
Listen, guys. Very good guy. Check it out. It's called Morgan Ganti.
Morgan Jiu-Jitsu. Power 3 Academy here.
Power 3 Academy. Power 3, they don't just teach Jiu-Jitsu, they teach all kinds of Muay Thai, kickboxing. Great little gym in Burnaby, been around for a long time. Check it out. Give them a call. Call there. I think you get to try it out for free anyway.
Yeah, have a free trial. We don't have like long contracts anymore. So even if you pay for a month, it's like $135 or $150. If you don't like it, you don't train anymore, and that's it.
It'll change your life. It'll change your life. The hardest thing about staying in a gym is going to the gym.
Exactly, and we need more people because we have tons of kids, and some of the parents are a little concerned about Brazil, how dangerous it is and stuff. And I cannot say it's not. I lost my brother there, but like most of the time, 99% of the people are good, but that 1% they do like bad stuff,
It's like that anywhere, man.
Anywhere. But like the poor people, and like I say, you have a big, you can have like a silky robe and your like nice house, like big place. So what is that? It's like a nicer place for you to nice clothes to be sad, and a bigger place to be alone, And I don't think that's about life. Like I say, if you're rich, it's great, but if nobody's there to help you and support, see like what you need, what you want. Sometimes you need some time by yourself, but people need people, And I think this is like a real life thing, And I hope like maybe go there and people start cheering up for Canada, Like I saw a movie with the underdogs. It's like when the Jamaicans came to Canada,
or the bobsled. Yeah.
But we're not really underdogs though.
No. How can you be when you got a guy like you teaching them?
No, but fine. Yeah, true. I thank you. I would like to believe so. But either way, I want to be proud and I want to be inspired.
Cesar's a very, and he lives his life, and I believe in that. Very humble. Be very humble. Obviously he's got a competitive edge, and he's going to talk about, he's a proud guy. But, a lot of these guys, they aren't humble. A lot of the people who walk around in the city, they feel they're above anybody. It doesn't matter where you are, you know. If you could be the richest guy in the world and you could be a guy digging the ditch, really, you're just same people. Yeah. Sometimes it's one bounce. That's all it took.
That's true.
So.
That's true.
So let's get this thing together. We're looking forward to the results, and we want to hear how you guys did. And we want to
for
hear
sure. Yeah,
for
next year, yeah, I'm gonna hire somebody to follow us and with cameras and stuff too. Because our dollar is stronger too, and that helps them too, right?
Yeah.
So getting some photos.
Take some videos, show some videos.
Yeah.
Do some live feeds on your Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Power 3 Academy.
Power.
Yeah, my wife takes care of it, so.
Power 3 Academy. Yeah. So do a couple live videos. Honestly, of some of the fights, do it. I'm telling you, and generate some interest. And anybody wants to sponsor anything, feel free. Reach out to Power 3 Academy. Honestly, it's every little bit counts. I mean, this is paying back. What I call payback. This is like pay it forward is what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. So you want to get involved, you want to come down, you want to meet Cesar, you want to meet some of the guys at the gym, come down. Yeah. They can talk to you, give it a try.
You could compete next year too. You know, next year we have we try to go again to Brazil for another little tournament, and this one is a world tournament.
Yes.
Right, and in 2025 there's another world tournament. Maybe you come back and train, and then we can.
You know what? I'm finally getting my life together. It's been kind of a chaotic the last couple of years.
And the thing is,
but really, come down and visit.
Yeah, you're finding somebody your age, your size, you know, around close to the same belt. So something like it's not like a professional fighting like somebody who's, you know. Yeah. So it's a nice thing, you know, and representing Canada is like the fights. I did some professional fights. Of obviously, like the fight I did for my brother is the one that's more important for me. But I remember more the ones that I didn't get paid. You know, the check or whatever is like a little detail. Who cares? You know, like the money doesn't have faith, doesn't have loyalty. You know, but your memories, the people, all this stuff, that stuff.
It's more camaraderie, I think, in this than you'll ever.
It's like a real life movie, you know.
You're
part of a movie, you know. Like you don't understand. It's just like even in the airport, you know, like we're gonna be wearing the same thing, and then people say, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like
that's
you're
right. People are gonna come in.
It's nice.
I'm telling you, this is what it's all about. Really, at the end of the day, it's being part of something and helping and growing something together. And you know what? This is not just a podcast to talk about what they're doing. This is a podcast of an immigrant that came from, it's safe to say, a third world country to some extent.
It is a
third world country. Came to Canada, built up a gym, got married. He not only did that, he now lives in a great house. He's like the Canadian dream. He aspired to do it. And you know what? Really, at the end of the day, joining martial arts, any kind of gym, you don't get rich doing it. Can you imagine getting up out of bed every day and enjoying what you're doing? And that's it. It doesn't get any better. You want to become a Canadian citizen, you come in here. He took his passion of what he learned in Brazil, came to Canada, didn't look at what anybody else did it, and now he's giving back. It's not just to go back to Brazil, but it is, in a way. It's like, you know what? You kind of rejected me, is what you said, and now I'm going to come back. I'm going to kick your fucking ass. Yeah, you should have kept me here. You are saying that about them. Yeah. Guys, check it out. Check out down the road, see what's all happening. Good to see you. And again, thank you so much.
Oh, nice to
and we will issue a check. And again, anybody wants to contribute, I'm not trying to make like a telethon where, you know, go in, meet some of the guys. Meet some people that are, you know, with Team Canada that are going to represent Canada in a Morgan Ganchi Jiu-Jitsu tournament in Brazil. Go in. You know, don't be scared. Don't be afraid. Just walk in and say, "Hey, how's it going? I like to get involved. Maybe not even money. Maybe you print T-shirts or whatever. But
anything, you know, just do it. Just say hi. You know, maybe you can be part of it. Because I said, you know, our goal for the next one, which is possible, we should have a representative for every single category. You know, so like girls, boys, men, women. You know, older, heavier, lighter, right? So then if you have it, and can you imagine if you go there and get gold for everything? That would be awesome, right?
I guess how things start.
I cannot fight like for the girls division. I cannot fight for the
well, that's a whole other topic, right? But we're not going to go there.
You could, maybe.
Well, they're kind of making that legal now. But anyway, that's a whole topic that we want to get into. Check it out. Check out the gym, Power 3 Academy on Instagram. Check it out in Burnaby, in Edmonds, local, unsung hero. Go look him up. He's got some great fights. And it's pretty wild. Pretty cool stuff. Talk to you guys later. Thank you so much.
Thank you.